you ready to jump into the weekend? Welcome to The Jump. I'm Rich Bowers, and we have some familiar faces with us. Sydney, Charles, happy Friday. How are you doing?
I'm good. How
Hello,
are
happy
you?
Friday.
I am excited. So last time we did this, it was so much fun. How could we not get the band back together? So let's jump to it. Recently, Spotify released a new subscription package called Supremium. Sydney, you're an avid music listener, podcast listener, even audiobooks. What's this new package about?
Yeah, so I'm a huge Spotify fan. I've been using it since it honestly came out. Made the switch from Apple Music over to Spotify, but this was actually this has been not a recent discussion. This sub premium sort of new subscription that they want to come out with. So they started talking about this back in 2021, and I think there were a lot of kinks to the hi-fi, and we'll get into different playlists that you can create based on mood, emotion, energy. They used all
Cool.
those words that I looked up. Yeah. It's going to be $19.99 a month. They don't have like a set date or anything on like when that's going to come out. They're hoping and aiming for early next year. But for the most part, it's going to be a lot of AI tools that you can use to create your own playlists. You're also going to get extra hours into audiobooks and stuff that you can actually save onto your playlists. So more holdage, I guess. And then also the hi-fi audio, which is a big deal right now. So the hi-fi audio is something that Apple Music already has the option for, but I do believe that Spotify wants to upgrade it even more. I guess in terms of competition, because I will say me and some friends have tested the audio on Apple Music in the car and have tested the Spotify music, and Apple Music right now does sound a little bit better. So I know
Interesting.
they kind of want to amp up the competition in that way.
Cool. This is why we bring you on here. Who tests their audio in the car, right? Sydney Morris does. Really cool stuff. Some other highlights there. So the audiobooks, I'm a huge reader. It's 20 to 30 hours of free audiobook listening. Something I didn't know is, I guess, the premium account is 15 free audiobook hours, but it is only in the UK and Australia right now. So they're testing some things out in the UK and Australia. Sydney, with the hi-fi audio, when you're talking about that, what does that mean? Like, if I hear there's hi-fi audio, what is that to me?
Yeah, so like when you think of an artist like in a studio, the sound that comes from their voices or instruments in the original audio, that set is recorded for playback. So it's like the highest quality audio in terms of studio sound. So hi-fi audio tries to replicate that to make it sound like you're literally in the studio with the artist, which is awesome.
Very cool. I mean, who doesn't want that? As we kind of wrap up on this topic, because it's not released yet, it's coming out. They don't have a specific date, but just so you know, some fun facts. Currently, Amazon Audible owns 2/3 of the audiobook revenue, and I didn't know this, but 2021 revenue 4.8 billion, 2026 expected $9 billion in revenue, and I think Spotify is going to help get them there. I'm sure. Excellent. Charles, you subscribe to Spotify?
We have always been, and my family's always been the Apple Music, Apple Music family. So Spotify, it's very nice, but my sister's the big music aficionado of the family. So she's all in on the Apple Music ecosystem. So I just follow her lead.
Well, you know what? Let's go to where you are an aficionado for. Wi-Fi 7.
I know, right?
Right? I don't know about you, but I've never heard of Wi-Fi 6, and there's a 6E and all these different ones. What is Wi-Fi 7? What does that mean?
Okay, so this is, I would describe it as a kind of, frankly, it's not very interesting. It's not very exciting from a it's a very dry technical kind of topic. It is, what is the technical standard behind the Wi-Fi technology, behind the Wi-Fi that you use. It's not an app, it's not a product, it is the standard that these devices are going to be using. So Wi-Fi 6 Still very new technology. The goal behind Wi-Fi 6 was to make make multiple connections over Wi-Fi efficient. So multiple devices over multiple devices connecting to, a single Wi-Fi source. So and that's kind of to work with the way in which, you want all kinds of devices in your house connecting over Wi-Fi at the same time. The goals of Wi-Fi 7 is to improve speed. So Wi-Fi 6 was to make these multi-device connections.
Think smart devices, home devices, right?
Yeah. Anything you want connected, you want everything that's connecting to Wi-Fi in your house to be able to connect to your Wi-Fi source efficiently. Now, Wi-Fi 7 is improving the speed at which those connections are occurring. And if I have my numbers correct here, it's up to more than 4 times faster than Wi-Fi 6. And I apologize to break the illusion here. I do have some notes up. So it is going to be maximum data rates of 9.6 gigabytes per second, and which is close to 6 times faster than Wi-Fi 5, which was 6.9 gigabytes per second. So that's
impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and and by the way, don't worry about reading the notes. People come here so that way we give them that, and they don't have to do the research on their own, right?
Yeah,
so that works out. So when we're talking about these speeds, I read somewhere we're looking at potentially an 8K video option or some level to get to that. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. So Wi-Fi 7 is not like officially out yet. Should be out sometime early 2024, but they're already selling devices that are Wi-Fi 7 compatible. So you can get your Wi-Fi router that will be Wi-Fi 7 ready, so that you can start streaming those 8K movies as soon as the standard goes live.
And you're still going to run into probably issues with compression of the 8K movies, I'm assuming. Some of your devices may have some benefits that you can use Wi-Fi 7, but realistically, we're not jumping on this yet, right? We're waiting to see more of the newer release devices as they come out. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to stick with Charlie. This one was an interesting one I saw in the news. So 3D printer prints at night on its owners. Charlie, okay. I'm sure you've probably heard of this, probably dove into it.
Yeah.
How does something like that happen?
So I apologize for using kind of a technical term here, but I believe this story can be described as very funny. So here's what happened. The 3D printer company, Bamboo, they make some very well-regarded, high-quality printers, 3D printers. And what happens was that they had an outage. Their cloud service went down briefly. But what happened was that the cloud-enabled printers, when there were requests, so the service tried to send the queued print requests to the printers, but the cloud service was down. So instead of failing gracefully, the requests were repeated every time they didn't get a response. So what ended up happening was all of these printers queued up all the just got duplicates of all of these print jobs. And so when the cloud service was restored, instead of being recognized as duplicate requests, the devices interpreted them as sequential requests. So they just repeated all of these print jobs that had been sent to the printers while the service was down. So
and And so they're making these copies and copies and copies. There's also stories of they say smacking itself, right? So the
Yeah,
printers were then kind of self-destructing, but
yeah,
by
yeah,
destroying itself, right?
yeah. They were in order to get through the print jobs. They were going like they were printing so fast that they were damaging the print heads. So
Amazing,
yeah,
amazing.
and um,
They're looking at
The
my printer
company
like,
Bamboo.
oh,
Is your printer doing that right now, Sydney? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm scared now. Who knows?
Yeah. So the company Bamboo, we know all of this because the company just said, "Yeah, this is what happened. We're taking steps to make sure this doesn't happen again." And now it is possible that there's danger here where 3D printers can get very hot. So it could theoretically cause a fire. But in this case, in this incident, nothing was damaged. No one was injured. And
Thankfully, yeah.
yeah, and Bamboo is working with the people affected to get their products repaired. So in this case, it was a technical oversight. It's a lesson in handling unexpected events. It's a lesson in like you can't like cloud services. The cloud is someone else's computer.
Mm-hmm.
So something could go wrong with someone else's computer and you have to account for that. So the printers do have a local option, and by that I mean instead of sending your print requests to their cloud service, you can send it over your home Wi-Fi. Maybe Wi-Fi 7 enabled Wi-Fi.
Oh, there we go. Nice, nicely done.
or a local LAN network, and that's going to be your Ethernet. For the kids out there, a LAN is a cable that you plug into your computer, and still probably better than Wi-Fi. Just gonna come out there and say that, but but yeah. So you can. So again, this is a story of just an mildly amusing technical oversight.
Okay. But real quick, Bamboo has said that they have thermal runaway protection on their devices
Yes.
to help out with that overheating or whatever it may be. Maybe some of the other concerns are hacking into the 3D printers, right?
Yes.
So I know we want to keep it short. We got our tech of the week with Sydney, but Sydney, are you interested in getting a 3D printer?
I think I'm gonna skip that one out.
We're gonna wait. Okay, but something that you are gonna get is Magic Canva Magic Studio. I know this is something that you use a lot. Sydney does a ton of marketing and a lot of creative marketing. What is this? We know it's AI powered, but what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so there's a couple things I want to highlight. So I don't know if anyone is familiar with the mid journey that comes through Discord. You can basically type any sort of prompt, and it will generate a picture of exactly of what you want or similar to what you want based off of Google Images that they are taking from the internet. So the Gen AI that is through Canva basically takes their pool of stuff that they've already created and they generate it to exactly what you want. I actually used this for our recent marketing material and it was incredible. I prompted it and it gave me exactly what I wanted and like 10 different options. It was awesome. And then I also noticed that there is a very cool feature now with team collaboration where you can go in and take notes within your team. And I do believe they had that before the Magic. But now what you can do is you can take those notes that were created by your team and you can automate it and basically prompt it to build out marketing material or any sort of flyer that you want through your team notes, and it goes in through your brand hub. So you can create an entire brand on Canva for whatever colors you want, fonts you want, and it'll take that you've created and make all your material just like that branding. So it is really cool stuff that this magic, the Canva magic, is coming out with.
It's amazing. And I think even you can do quick translation into different languages, right, as well, which is a nice bonus. So just a quick step back. Canva overall, how would you describe what Canva is, Sydney, for the people who may not be familiar?
So Canva is a way for an everyday person that maybe doesn't have much experience in marketing or creating certain material that they would like to use. Maybe they want to do graphic design and sell maybe some art on Etsy. That's a big thing nowadays where you can go in and create your own art because it is so customizable. It's a lot easier to understand how to use it outside of like Adobe, for instance. Adobe is like the professional marketing app that a lot of creators use, but this is like something for the everyday person for them to be able to create. And now with this magic being added into Canva, it makes it even easier for everyday people to go in and make content for what they want.
Cool. Excellent. So kind of a, even think about it as a high-powered PowerPoint, right? And then now with this Gen AI, it just takes it through the stratosphere. Last thing, there was a cool feature of it called Magic Grab. What is Magic Grab? That seems like something that would be pretty neat.
It was awesome. So you can basically take any sort of photo that you've taken, upload it into Canva, add it to whatever material that you're creating, and you can focus in on certain parts of the picture, and it will perfectly grab that area, and you can move it and use it for anything that you want. I mean, it is just awesome because usually, like through Adobe and what you had to do before, you'd have to go in and crop it, or you could use the background remover, and sometimes it's just not perfect. Now with this new Magic Grab, it does it seamlessly. It's awesome.
It's magic. With that being said, time always flies by with you. One last point on this, just want to let it be known that Canva's C-level individuals have said, well, this will not take away from professional designers' jobs. We'll see. This is a pretty powerful tool. Sydney, Charles, as always, I mean, this is just so much fun every time getting together. I appreciate both your inputs. I'm Rich Bowers for The Jump. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.